Welcome to Tithe Lies, the place where you can get the biblical truth about tithes and offerings. My brothers and sisters, I am rebooting some of my old content, putting all of my tithing videos onto one channel. So some of this stuff is old. So grade me on the curve for the technology, okay? But the content is still on point. Hi, I'm Eric Hill, and I've written the book, What Preachers Never Tell You About Tithes and Offerings, the End of Clergy Manipulation and Extortion. Our topic is what Malachi really teaches about tithes. This is part 3, and I'm so excited because I hope we can get to the crux of this matter. Now remember, we're in Malachi, and very brief overview. You know how preachers, they use the book of Malachi to bring us into bondage. They use the book of Malachi to say we are cursed if we do not give them our money. Now, the bottom line is the book of Malachi is not written to the average Jew, and it certainly isn't written it certainly isn't written to a Gentile living a couple of thousand years after the cross of Christ, for the purpose of raising funds. Now, I believe I have already proven conclusively that this book is written to backslidden preachers who were stealing tithes from God. They were substituting the good tithes that were given by people, and they were taking their bad tithes, their animals with arthritis, blind, all messed up, and they were swapping them and giving God the bad stuff. You heard that in the first and second parts. Now, let's go on to this part here in part 3. In chapter 2, we are still dealing with who is God talking to here. First verse, and now, O priests, this commandment is for you. So who is the commandment for? If you will not hear and if you will not take it to heart, to give glory to my name, says the Lord of hosts, I will send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessings. Yes, I have cursed them already because you do not take it to heart. Do you remember preachers Sundays and Wednesdays talking about God sending a curse in Malachi? Who did he say he would send the curse on? He said he would send it to the preachers, the priests. Don't skip over that, and don't you be afraid. I'm not going to tell your pastor that you're listening to this video. Okay? Third verse. Behold, I will rebuke your descendants and spread refuse or trash on your faces, the refuse of your solemn feasts, and one will take you away with it, just like the garbage man, or just like an invading army. It's going to snatch all of you up. God was not pleased with the church service. I'm calling it a church service. This religious ceremony that's going on, even though people were paying tithes. If the modern financial tithe system is of God, it should pass the test of light. I'm looking for people to interview, to tell me about their experience tithing. Has it been a blessing or has it been a curse? Drop me a line at tithelies@yahoo.com. Okay, God wasn't impressed with what was going on, and he's talking to priests. 7th verse. For the lips of a priest should keep knowledge, and people should seek the law from his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. But you have departed from the way. Who is he talking to? The priests. Priests, you have departed from the way. You have caused many to stumble at the law. You have corrupted the covenant of Levi, says the Lord of hosts. Now look at the 10th verse. Have we not all one Father? Has not one God created us? And here's the prophet speaking. Why do we deal treacherously with one another? By profaning the covenant of the fathers. Judah has dealt treacherously, and an abomination has been committed in Israel and in Jerusalem. For Judah has profaned the Lord's holy institution, which he loves. He has married the daughter of a foreign god. May the Lord cut off from the tents of Jacob the man who does this, being aware and awake, yet who brings an offering to the Lord of hosts. So here we have basically God is saying, you are living in blatant rebellion against me. And yet you're bringing offerings. And I thought we said there were no offerings. I thought the offerings were gone. The offerings are not gone. The offerings are not missing. The offerings have been substituted. The bad offerings have been given to God, and the good offerings have been put in some scoundrel of a priest's backyard or basement or someplace. Okay, now 13th verse. And this is the second thing you do. You cover the altar of the Lord with tears, with weeping and crying, so he does not regard the offering anymore, nor receive it with goodwill from your hands. Now look, we've already established in Numbers 18th chapter, the 2nd and 3rd verse, that everybody could not approach that altar. God was speaking specifically to the priests of Aaron. They had access to the altar. Anyone else who got too close to that altar died. So we know exactly who God is talking to. The priests. Not you, not me, the priests. 14th verse. Yet you say, for what reason? Why are you not accepting our offering, Lord? Because the Lord has been witness between you and the wife of your youth, with whom you have dealt treacherously. And he goes on to talk about how treacherously they have been. Basically, these priests were fed up with serving God, and they said it over and over, and that's why God repeatedly accused them of saying, the table of the Lord is contemptible, and you've grown weary in serving me, and what profit is it to serve God? Now they are saying, why should I hang out with this lady? She's getting some wrinkles. You know, they didn't have Botox back then, and they didn't have all that jelly they can shoot in your face. They didn't have facelifts. Your mug got stretched out of shape. It was stretched out of shape until you died. These guys said, I'm not having that. And so God said, you are dealing treacherously with the wives of your youth. And here you are approaching the altar and crying and acting like you love me, and you really don't. That's who God is talking about here. Now, when we continue, we're going to go right into that chapter that tithe preachers love. You know which one? That 3rd chapter. Just a little something to make you think.